Greetings and salutations, I'm your host, Tim the MegaRetroGeek, coming right at you. Today I finally decided to jump into the fray. Everybody's jumping on the bandwagon, everybody's freaking out about the Xbox 360. This is always going to be a near and dear system to my heart. Here I have a huge stack of memorable games, affordable games, and games that might affect your budget. The reason why I need to break this down is because everybody's flipping out. And all these games that are becoming super valuable and rare all of a sudden, because we all know that the Xbox 360 store is fixing to shut down late July of this year. So everybody's up in arms after 19 years freaking out. What the heck do we do? What do we do? So on the big screen I got playing in the background is Borderlands, the pre-sequel. The reason why I love it, because it's actually a really good storyline. Actually, the whole entire premise between the events of part 1 and 2. If you love Borderlands, please pick it up, and it's super cheap, but we'll talk about it in a second. First, I always talk about the awesome controllers. This is one of my favorite ones because it just has that awesome army camo one. I think this was like it for Call of Duty Advance. I always said one thing I always like a controller is that switcheroo. That was the coolest little thing. When they first introduced that, that was a game changer. Because you want to play a good fighter game, just like that, old school game, or if you want the classic 360 mode, no problemo. But that was a nice little nick of it. But the controller was so comfortable. Everybody knows that. There's so many colors, so many varieties. I mean, they were nuts about this. Even to this day, like the Xbox Series X and even the old Xbox One, say old, but it's not really quite old yet. It was just like miraculous how many colors they come out with these damn things. But the 360 controller is always going to be near and dear to my heart. I think my personal favorite one is probably going to be the Halo 3 ODST version. And of course, what's the other one? Oh yeah, the Tomb Raider one. If you can find that one, it's really a cool banger. So I call it all kinds of cool marks. But anyway, I digress. Let's jump into it. It's going to be a long video. You got to stay with me because this is probably going to be about 10 minutes. If I can get this done, awesome. If not, I'll split it into two. No problemo. Okay, let's jump in. So, everything near and dear to our heart. Of course, you can't have a 360 unless you have a creme de la creme of awesomeness. Of course, I always talk about Gears of War 2. Gears of War series, beautiful. And hope to God that someday we'll get another sequel. Hopefully soon, maybe in June, they'll be talking about it. But 2 is where it's at. I played this for God knows how many hours, how many weeks, how many months, how many years. Because it was just kept giving and giving. 3 is awesome, yeah. But 2 really brought the thunder. But this is the game you want to mess with. And of course, it's super cheap because of all that junk. And of course, you can't have an Xbox unless you have the beautiful, legendary Fable Anniversary Edition and Fable 2. Fable 2 is another one. Yeah, I pound God knows how many hours into that little sucker. But these are good. But the Anniversary Edition is really kick-ass. If you run the original OG Xbox, but this one is way cooler. Looks real pretty. But yeah, I do recommend that one. And of course, you cannot, I repeat, cannot have a 360 or even an Xbox unless you have Halo involved. But there's always one Halo game that rules them all. And that's always going to be Halo Reach. I still have this baby after all these years. Whew! This was a nice one. God, it's a heavy box. But everybody's freaking out. Like, some of these games are jumping up to hundreds, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And the thing is, if you look at the list of some of these games that are actually valuable, I understand. But some of them, pretty dark in the ring. But I'm going to break it down. Let's start with the first stack here. Oh, yeah. So, first thing I like to talk about, of course, is from Sega. These are real cheap, too. Condemned Criminal Origins and Condemned 2 Bloodshot. It's a cool, like, survival, I wouldn't say survival horror, but first-person shooter. But it's like, everybody always knows Outlast. Everybody loves those kind of creepy games. These are the games that pretty much, like, established that look and style, I feel. Especially in the mid-2000s. This is, like, one of the first Xbox 360 games I had. And God, it was creepy. But number 2 is a real trip. But the ending, to me, is still, like, the weirdest thing on the planet. It just went completely in the right direction of what Condemned was all about. Fighting criminals in the middle of a backwater, like, broken down house or apartment or abandoned building and just kicking the crap out of them, and then winding up in the middle of nowhere, like with fighting aliens. Oh my God. Anyway, but yeah, these games you gotta play. They're a real cool psychological trip. And of course, I'm surprised how cheap this one is, but I love it to death. Amazing soundtrack, and made by the legendary Tim Schafer of Lucasfilms games. And I'm talking about Brutal Legends with Jack Black and Ozzy Osbourne and Lemony Kilmister from Motorhead. This game rocks the house. Swear to God. If you don't have this game, you just got to do yourself a favor and just get out there, man. This game just blows everything out of the water, and it still holds up beautifully. It's backwards compatible on the Xbox One and the Series X as well. But if you have a 360, yeah, you got to have this one. That's for damn sure. Another one that's really cool, another Sega one, and I got to play this one. It's really cool. It's like kind of a Gears of War. That's kind of like duck and cover and shoot. Binary Domain. Binary Domain is like I did not expect it to be that damn good. There's a lot of cool Easter eggs hiding in there for Sega fans especially, but this is a game you want to mess with as well. Moving on quickly, and of course, like if you have like a quick access to like if you want your like cool Marvel comics and DC comics and things, you gotta have the Batman Arkham Trilogy. The Batman Arkham Asylum, Batman Arkham City, and Batman Arkham Origins. I don't care what they say. This game was amazing. It is backwards compatible too, but you have to have the disc. It's not digital purchase only. It kind of sucks. Because like most of these games that they are fetching value, they're not on the digital store at all. You can't get them, but still the disc one. But these are so cheap. Like some of these are like $5-6 a pop or whatnot. But yeah, the Arkham Asylums need no introduction. Arkham Knight is a masterpiece, but the first one, suck it. And even to an extent, the Origins is good. It sure wasn't in the same studio, but it was really awesome. Moving on quickly. So, always recommend this one too. If you have more first-person shooters, The Darkness. The Darkness was like, wow. I mean, graphic-wise, it was nuts. I haven't seen that much graphical potential since The Chronicles of Riddick on the Xbox and the Xbox 360. Like, the graphic engine, I think it was probably the same. It looks almost similar, almost dead identical. But damn, this game is awesome. The sequel, not so much hot, but it's still damn good. Next up, we got Allan Wake. Thanks to the remaster, the original version actually shot down in value. Surprise, surprise. But the funny thing is, what creeps me out, the PS5 version of the remaster is actually very valuable. And I don't know why. But you find the 360 version out wild because this game was shot up to $30, up to $40 for a little bit when it became backwards compatible. But as soon as it came remastered, shot down. So if you find it, snag it up. And of course, another graphical wonders, I do have to admit, is always going to be the BioShock franchise. BioShock 2, and of course, BioShock Infinite. These are amazing storylines, amazing. This is a really cool telling of the first one, so that way you can actually save a lot of help with just playing 2. But if you still want to play 1, grab it. They're super cheap, because they've been remastered as well, and they always go on sale like crazy, you know? Excuse me. Now, I know everybody talks about these little guys. There was always like awesome action hack and slash. They're super hard, super balls to the wall hard. But it's the Ninja Gaiden Trilogy. Everybody always talks about these, but I'm not going to talk about this because everybody knows them. The only game I recommend that nobody talks about, and it's not even backwards compatible, is Yaba Ninja Gaiden Z. This game is sick, man. Cel-shaded graphics. You're fighting zombies, and it's bloody as hell, and it's really kick-ass and super cheap. Oh my god. But the cool part, this is the original version, so it actually does come with the kick-ass soundtrack, and it actually did come with a little mini comic book too. How cute! But yeah, it has both the discs. But yeah, this is the one you want to play. Not many people played it. It bombed because it came out the worst time. When it came out, like the Xbox One and the PS4 just dropped, so this game just came out of the left field, and nobody played it, and it sucks because it's really freaking good. It's hilarious as hell too. So I have like more like a Travis Touchdown kind of humor from like No More Heroes, and of course. You gotta have Xbox unless you get something cheap. You want something like a cool, like loot and shoot kind of Diablo, but you want a first-person shooter. Boom, Borderlands. The end. Okay, so I mean, honestly, I gotta say, in Borderlands, the pre-sequel, and even the Tart 2. And the funny thing is, these games are $5 a pop. $5 because they've been remastered, re-released, God knows how many times. But if you just want some kicks, some extra achievements. If you're even like one of those achievement hoes, grab it. No problemo. Moving on real quick. Whew, time's running out. Probably gonna have to stop it in about a minute or two. So yeah, of course, Borderlands 2, had to mention that one. Yep. Moving on. Shadowrun. This is actually a great multiplayer game. The servers were shut down for a long time, but actually last year, the Xbox department reestablished the servers. You can actually still play online on the sucker. This for a game that came out in 08, 09. Oh my God. This game actually took the high idea of, Shadowrun, the classic, RPG, and then transformed it into a multiplayer, and it kind of worked. It's kind of different. It was like, to me, it was like pretty much a tech demo for, what's it called? Windows Vista. And let's see, let me wrap it up right here. I'm going to stop. This is part 1. I'm going to cut it right here. Thank you guys for tuning in again. You guys do me one favor and one favor only. And as always, stay retro, my friends. Stay tuned for part 2.